Hello everyone, welcome back. It's time for another RWBY reaction. This one is the volume finale, chapter 14, the final word. So, the last episode left us on a whole bunch of different cliffhangers. Set up a whole different bunch of sequences, and things are going to start going real bad real quick. In fact, they already have. Starting with, let me list them, Yang, who fell off into the place where the creation genie said do not fall and seemed to just go poof. I don't know whether that was because she literally dematerialized in some way or whether it was a representation of like falling past some sort of barrier. Couldn't really tell. Don't think she's dead, but nevertheless I can still feel the impact that this has on the rest of the team. In the immediate, just because they're down a member, but also just the emotional impact it's going to have on, well, all of them. But, you know, RWBY, who, at least for now, has lost a sister and doesn't know what on earth it means to fall in this place. And Blake, who's lost a partner. So Blake is angry. Real good scream that she gave, actually, when Yang went. A lot of really good voice acting we've been having this whole season. The whole time, but this season there's just been so many. I should really go and put together like a compilation of all of the really nice bits of voice acting that I liked this season. Anyway, let's keep moving. Cinder bringing chaos inside this in-between place, which is being used to transfer people from Atlas and Mantle into Vacuo. Just makes it more complicated because all of the girls need to work on protecting all of the different people who are trying to make their way through to Vacuo. More about that part later. But yeah, Cinder can target people because she knows that the heroes will need to protect them. Aiding her in this effort is Neo, who, well, Neo's goal is mainly just trying to get RWBY, but that means RWBY's occupied. Neo is obviously no slouch, so that's a bit of a threat. The two of them together, plus the civilians being collateral damage, means it's quite the task for the 3+ to fight in this place. So next, Crow and Robin, who have been trying to stop Harriet, who's flying the bomb over to who knows where. So that's one fight which is going not so great. At least we did see that Vine tried to stop Harriet, which I think is good. Harriet just won't see through it. Timing was unfortunate. I don't know whether he could have gotten through to her or not before Robin rammed, but, you know, neither of them could have guessed where, you know, Vine's thoughts were when he was chasing. He could have been chasing to help her, for all they knew. I think Robin did notice that he got kicked out the back by Harriet, so maybe, I don't know. Hopefully something's going to happen because things are not looking great. But meddling in that from a remote distance is Watts, who is having the time of his life, having the highest amount of access he's had in a long time to all of Atlas's toys and communications and all of that sort of thing. He's just messing around, sending the ship who knows where. Speaking of Watts, I think that one of the things that he also did from his position of command is probably let Ironwood out. He might not have, it could have just been, you know, due to the damage. But it wouldn't surprise me if Watts actually deliberately opened Ironwood's cell, just because he knows how much damage Ironwood can basically do to our heroes, just because of the position that he's currently in. So, you know, Watts is like, well, this is a safe distance, I'm just gonna let that Ironwood roam free and just see what he blows up. And then probably just use the bomb to destroy it afterwards. That makes sense. So, yep, Ironwood is currently facing off against Winter. That is a emotionally wrought battle. And I feel like things aren't going to go super well either way. I mean, Ironwood needs to be put down, but I'm still kind of sad that that's going to be the fact. It's clear that he's completely gone off the deep end, but it's still so sad because he has always been trying to do the right thing. Not great. And last of all, I think, forgive me if I forgot something, we have those who have managed to get to Vacuo, or at least onto the other side of the portal, finding themselves in a sandstorm and with no idea where Vacuo is. They should be in Vacuo because that's what they specifically asked, but presumably Vacuo's been having its own problems, or who knows what's been happening in Vacuo. Well, we've never seen it. But yeah, who knows what things have been happening there. And now we've just dumped a whole bunch of panicked refugees into wherever they are, which has drawn a bunch of Grimm. And they also can't go back through the portal. So things are not looking great. And in amongst all of that, we have to keep in mind that no one is currently operating at full capacity, presumably. There has been a really short time frame for like the past season, or even past couple of seasons, so people are not operating at peak, so all sorts of things can happen. I spent way longer talking than I meant to in my summary. That was meant to be a quick summary. So I'm gonna stop. Okay. Here we go. Volume 8, Chapter 14, The Final Word. In 3, 2, 1, now. Content warning. This episode contains themes of death that may be distressing for some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised. Well, that doesn't sound good. But also, keep that warning in mind. The last time that I'll be hearing this opening as part of my regular watching, at least. Can't wait to hear the whole thing when the soundtrack comes out. All those falling weapons. Yep. I'm just mentally ticking off all of the things in the opening. But yep. Chaos, the fighting, the separation of the people, but then they're rejoining back together. Zenda's own sort of journey. Emerald's weird sort of relationship with her special turn. The falling. Look, Yang fell's furthest. He fell furthest. It's like Pyrrha, who fell first in the opening for Volume 3. Not something I noticed watching beforehand. Oh, is it back? Veil is to dissipate. Great, so add that to the list, I guess. Salem coming back.
No, Winter, do not blame me.
We do not blame you.
I have sacrificed everything.
No, you have sacrificed everyone else. You closed
Exactly.
the doors. You squeezed mantle until it broke.
I just realized, is that Ironwood's gun?
No one is great.
It's a gun that turns into a gun. Oh. I feel like Ironwood is too hung up on the sacrifice part. Go, Weiss.
Priority 1.
Weiss, all she's ever wanted is the maiden power. I can buy you all time.
Penny.
Shoot.
I'm right here. I'm what you want.
I want it all.
Blake is pissed.
Get up!
Yeah, she managed to tear herself away from
What happened to Clover?
fighting Neo. Harriet, I know you're angry, but you suck!
Get out of the way!
Here, please, don't do this. They're still evacuating in Mantle.
Why can't you just let me do my job?
Because you're our friend, and we won't let you go through with this.
No!
What is your job? Couldn't do it. Neo still gives no fuck.
Leave her alone!
Come on, we have to do this for Ye.
It's a lot of weakened auras.
The autopilot's
It.
locked! We gotta go!
There's no time to make it out of the blast range. I've killed us all. I'm sorry.
Time to go. What are you doing?
You can't!
I can. If it means saving all of my friends.
His ability to extend his aura? Holy sh... That tickles.
Whatever you wanted,
Wow, Vine.
I hope it was worth it.
The end, you're a real one. Damn, that was a good play.
You should have never threatened me.
Oh,
And you should have never been born.
well, they're all out.
May, Joanna, any huntsman that went through that gate, bring him here.
They don't realize that they haven't been able to come back through.
Would be the last one standing, letting all her friends die first.
Screw you, Simba.
You wouldn't know anything about friends.
Hey, Jean's changed since the last time you faced him. Salem's up.
She's back.
No way.
Penny! Just hold on. My semblance.
No. There's not enough time to heal me. She can't get the staff and the power. But there is something you can do.
No, I don't know where the others are, but Weiss will give us time.
Let me choose this one thing. Trust me.
Who is it?
Salutations! You made it!
Where... What is this?
I thought of you, and here we are.
Oh, Penny.
It seemed
I can't
fitting
believe
that
they
it should be
did.
you. It was your power, after all.
No, Penny. You were always the real maiden at heart. I was just a machine. Just following orders.
You were my friend.
Thank you for trusting me with this. When you're gone,
I won't be gone. I'll be part of you.
good. I'm glad.
That smile. Heartbreaking.
So, the destiny I chose for you has arrived.
You chose nothing. This was a gift.
Wow. Shit, John. I can't believe you had to do that.
Where did it go?
Winter wears it well, though. Guess we knew they all had to fall.
to pay for everything you've done.
Well, shit. Come on, John. Oh. Well, I mean, I guess he's gonna be with the rest of... Not the Winter Maiden you expected. Has worked. Oh man, coming out and seeing the rest of her family like that. And then knowing at some point she needs to tell them. As far as she knew, Weiss is dead.
I failed you again, Master. They used the staff to save thousands. Before our allies fell, Neapolitan killed Ruby. And before Ruby and her teammates fell, they used the lamp's final question. I couldn't stop them. I couldn't even stop the maiden from escaping without putting the relics in jeopardy. I'm sorry.
I wonder how much Salem is aware of while she is...
Of a new world, no cost is too great. You've done well, Cinder. Our work here is done.
Like, before she managed to get enough.
You said they used the staff. I assume you rid the world of their creation. What did you create in its stead?
I merely added more flames to the fires of Atlas.
Oh, right. Wow, she is evil.
And that's checkmate.
Even after thinking that she had learned her lesson. Working with Watson Neo, she...
Darkness like midnight, moonless, there's no light.
Holy crap.
The lonely day is ending, searching forever, waiting.
That was...
But never
I like grabbed hold and just didn't let go the whole time. It was real difficult to speak during the episode. I just had to try to, because otherwise it was way too easy just to be completely absorbed in it. I'm gonna leave the credits in. I'm pretty sure that's what I did last time. It just feels like the appropriate thing to do. Well done, RWBY. Congratulations to all of these people listed in these credits. You all did an amazing job. The episode did end about as much as I thought it as there. Words difficult. Yeah, so this episode and this volume pretty much went the way I expected. I guess I expected more bad things to happen, but I guess it can be difficult to just be like unrelentingly bleak the whole time. Instead, they managed a really good level of tension throughout the episode. They still managed to fit in some moments of levity, which was nice. Yeah, we still had... I guess, you know, I sort of went in thinking, and I should have known it probably wouldn't have been that way, but just, you know, horrible things like happening constantly, one after the other, just like a cascade of awfulness. You know, they wouldn't do that, it wouldn't have seemed right for the show, but what they did do is just like kind of bad things throughout the whole time, and then you'd have the occasional win or the occasional thing that seemed like a win, but the tension level would still remain high. There would always be something throughout the whole thing, just exuding this this sense of dread. You know, it might change from one thing to another. It's like, oh, okay, this thing not so bad, but it's another, and then it's like, well, it wears away at, you know, the character, you know, at the viewer in a, you know, in a good way, a good writing sort of way. The things are just, yeah, nuts. Oh man. So all of Team RWBY have fallen. Everyone reading this, yes you! Haha. Sorry, I was just reading that in the credits. So I expect that we get to see whatever is on the outside, bottom, underneath of this magical area. What the hell is this? It's just a whole other world? What about the other places in between? Maybe it just doesn't follow normal. Is it another world that the gods created? Because they did, like, just leave. And presumably they didn't just leave, and presumably they went to do something. Maybe they've just been creating a whole bunch of other worlds. What does this mean? For everyone else who didn't fall, though, as far as they know, everyone who fell is dead. Or gone forever. Possibly just falling forever. They don't know what's at the bottom of, that pit. Oh boy, how do I talk about this? I really feel like I'd like more time to, but at the same time I don't like, or rather, I like giving my thoughts pretty close to the episode. Penny. Start with Penny. I truly thought that she had plot armor. At least for a little while. Commented in a previous video that I thought it would be awful. I imagined the thought of it, but dismissed it as being highly unlikely that they would make her a real girl and then kill her off. Yeah, I need to reevaluate. Yeah, look at me thinking that, good as the show is, I'm still a little bit genre savvy, and I know that these are things that aren't good. So I need to reevaluate my thoughts on my ability to predict what's gonna happen. Not that I spend too much time actually predicting. But yeah. So I guess that feeds into the concept of sacrifice. Winter was sort of laying into Ironwood in, their conversational battle happening in parallel to their actual physical one, about how he claims to have, sacrificed everything. Winter points out he's always been willing to sacrifice everyone else, everything. Well, he has sacrificed himself. He's willing to take damage, he's willing to put himself through, but he's also dragging everyone else along. And he does feel like he's enamored with the thought of the sacrifice. It's like, look at me, I'm willing to sacrifice him in order to protect the kingdom. But if a different solution comes up, he's too stuck on the fact that he's decided, no, this is how it's going to be. I'm going to have my glorious sacrifice. And sacrifice all of you as well. So, bad sacrifice. But then in other examples of sacrifice, self-sacrifice, you've got Vine. I hope I said his name properly. I have this in my head. I always somehow mix Vine and Elmer, but in my head I usually hear them both and very quickly have to correct myself. But I'm not sure whether I may have said it wrong in the episode. Sorry. Anyway, Vine. I'd always wondered what he could do with his, his ability to just blip his aura like that. And yeah, that was one heck of a. He seemed so emotional, completely, logic based, unhumorous part of their team. But he did have thoughts. He cared about, when it came down to it in the end. He cared about doing the right thing over doing his quote unquote job as written. And he was willing to sacrifice himself to save, his friends, even though this has been sort of a common theme with the Aesops. It's how, they aren't friends, they're workmates, pretty much. And, they may not have been, their inability to come to terms with that did seem to affect them. But I think, in that last moment, their, admission that, they are. You can't work together for that long and not have developed some sort of bond. He was willing to sacrifice himself to to protect them. That was nice. And the other one, of course, Penny. There's a sense of dread starting to come about somewhere through the episode, a little beforehand, where I thought, she's been glancing around a few times. What is she gonna do? She's already offered a few episodes ago, give Ruby the maiden power. I don't know, it's hard to talk about this one. I think it went well. I'm very sad that she died. I was really hoping for more Penny, not less. after they managed to help her that way. Don't know how that's gonna hit the team who have all fallen. Oh wait, no, Jean will know, and he fell, so he can tell them. Man, I feel so bad for. He always just wants to protect, and he's been helping, supporting, and to think that in this way he needed to help her because it was too risky. It would take too long to heal her to a reasonable state. Letting her die would obviously take too long. That was awful. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know how else to go about the episode. So what else happened? Well, I'll just keep, listing things and see if anything comes to mind as I talk about them. So Cinder hasn't changed. He did change enough to make temporary use of Neo and Quartz, and then betray them in the end. She is awful and an amazing villain. Also, now it's wrong. It's not that I can't wait to see her go down. I'll be glad when they take her down. But I am also happy isn't the right word, but I am, kind of. I talked about it before. I am happy to see Cinder succeeding, as strange as that sounds, because I am going to be so glad when it did. Oh yeah, so one of the other things that I was curious about was I wonder how much consciousness Salem has, how much awareness she has. I assume that when she's completely been obliterated it takes a while, and I wonder whether she's even got sapient thought at all, or if for a while she's just nothingness, or even very basic thoughts, probably driven by this compulsion just to exist, which starts drawing together the pieces. And then I wonder at what point she starts getting consciousness back. Doesn't really matter, I guess, but it's just one of those things that I've been curious about. She is content. Again, she would have liked to have the wish available, because then she could have asked how to get the beacon relic, which is the one that's been evading her. But she now successfully has lamp, which I guess can't be used for anything anymore, but is one out of the 4. And she has the Staff of Creation, which, oh boy, I dread to think of what she's going to do with it. Because at least that one can still be used. I mean, it can only do one thing at a time, but I can just think of what awful things she can do with it. Staff of Creation is, even with its rules in place, extremely dangerous. Incredibly powerful item. Holy crap. Ironwood. Still alive at the end. Is there a potential for redemption? Maybe. But still, Ironwood is gonna have to die in his redemption. I don't think there's any way that people could accept it. But the fact that he's alive does allow for him to get this sacrifice that he's wanted. Just do the right thing for once, Ironwood, please. You've been a complete arsehat this past couple of seasons, or this, I guess, season and a half. Wow. So now begins the wait till the next season. If you've been watching my reactions, thank you for sort of figuratively hanging out with me. Yeah, it's been a blast. I hope that you'll join me again next volume when we, I'll be back reacting to these again, I hope. And, yeah, well done. Well done. This was an amazing, harrowing volume. So, take care of yourselves, and I will see you in Volume 9.